Wentworth. This guy, been a friend of mine for years. He's also been a coward as long as I've known him. If something's happening to you, he doesn't care. He'll talk about him, just like most of you. The problem is that kind of cowardice is the reason we're in this situation. Then Tory wants to complain about the situation that he's in. He's experiencing karma. Complaining that it's just him and Chris on their own. Well, you know what? It's you and Chris on your own. You have a fucking house, right? So he's telling me they're getting ready to go homeless. Turns out that's bullshit. They're trying to sell the house so they can go to Canada. Now, my question is, what the fuck is Canada gonna do with our cowards? What is Canada gonna do with our cowards? You know, it's one thing to not want to go into a foreign country and murder foreign kids. I can understand that. If you hop the border into Canada in the 1970s, fuck yes, I support you 100%. We shouldn't have been there. However, if you're going to do absolutely nothing about the shit here in the United States, and you're going to look the other way to other victims being victimized, and you're going to use your cowardice as an excuse, well, holy shit, you deserve the karma. Speaking of deserving the karma, the entire BLM community, yeah, deserves the fucking karma they're fucking getting smacked with. The LGBT community deserves the karma they're getting smacked with. Now, I've taken a lot of abuse from homosexuals who thought that it was okay to molest little boys. Were they necessarily homosexuals? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Sometimes it's just a matter of dominance. Now, do I go blaming every single black person out there for the black people that actually harm me? No, but you blame all white people. All white people are responsible for your fuck-ups, BLM. Isn't that right? When you look away from the homeless who are being murdered every fucking day, and then you want to complain about people who are looking away from you, you fucking deserve it. Now, there was a shooting, another shooting in Colorado. Can you imagine that? The epicenter for fucking Nazi America. But you also get to see how the most victimized people there aren't the ones doing the shootings. Is it homeless people? Is it homeless people walking into schools and shooting 21 kids? No, it's not. We're the ones you fucking blame. Now, Tory Wentworth Ward, as long as I've known him, he's been a coward. So, I mean, this isn't anything new to me, all right? It's also not anything new to him. With many of my other friends, you know what? Yeah, they had me going. I actually believe that some of them were not complete and total fucking cowards. But not Tory. Tory, I knew, was a coward. Now we get to look at the numerous people that I know from the LGBT community. Many of them who just bash on straight people. It's all straight people's fault, straight people's fault, straight people's fault. Straight people didn't make you a coward, Wraith. Straight people did not make you a coward, Ariana. It's not straight people's fault you're a fucking coward. Then you pretend that straight people are the reason that you're victimized. No, there are straight people sticking up for you right this fucking moment. myself included. It's okay to be gay. It's not okay to be a selfish coward. Choosing not to murder foreign people isn't cowardice. Just so you know, we did have soldiers in Vietnam who were executed because they didn't want to be there and didn't want to do their jobs. Well, excuse me, says I, but we hung a bunch of people only a couple decades earlier for doing their jobs. So you get murdered if you do your job, you get murdered if you don't. Fuck the government. I get Wraith's belief on that. Yeah, fuck the United States government. And fuck anybody who supports it. But the thing is, Wraith, man, every time I won't talk to me like I'm a person, just wants to type to me about all of his problems. Shit, I could have helped him with his problems if he wasn't a bitch. Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. Then we get to see all these people making excuses. This is why people get away with victimizing the homeless. You get to hear them folks at the hospital. You know, this is why human trafficking is as rampant as it is. I tried telling them about the human trafficking, but of course, they blew me off. Not that it matters. There's people that could have come forward at any point in time through any of this, but they're all fucking cowards, and that's why they end up on the internet. All of them. That's right. If you're going to be a fucking coward and sell a narrative that gets innocent people killed, oh, we gays are more victimized than anyone else. No, the fuck you're not. Shit, Wraith, I went to LGBT Pride with you. You remember that? You remember you and your gay friends standing around and making fun of me for being a breeder? Now, I took it in good stride. But it was about 30 full minutes of fucking outright cruelty. But I told you I'd go, that I would support you, that I would support your rights, and I did what I said I would. I went with you. I supported your rights. I even stuck up for you. I remember several years in a row you wanted to complain that you couldn't go to Pride. You were too sick. And a lot of people did what they could, knowing that you were sick, to try to help you out the best that they could. Now, we got a nightclub shooting happen in Colorado Springs. A few people ended up dead. Now, of course, we got a lot of anti-LGBT rhetoric, right? Certainly do. We've also got a lot of people who want to, after the fact, go, oh, this is so horrible that they did this. Motherfucker, you could have done something about it before it ever happened. What the hell are you trying to fucking sell? Now, for me, knowing these people are cowards, it does help. It helps me to understand. They wanted to look the other way and make it all about them. Each and every one of them could have made some effort. If they actually care about you, they make some effort. If they actually care about you, and you go to them for help, they'll listen instead of talking about themselves the whole time. And you know what? This is one of them situations where we ain't talking, it's all in typing. Now, we got the LGBT community spreading a lot of hate, as they have been for years. Now, I speak up about how wrong it is to do that to homosexuals. But then again, I don't often speak up about how wrong it is for homosexuals to do that to straight people. Hey, guess what, homosexuals? If your dad did something bad to you, your dad did that. You go after your dad. Don't go after straight people. especially when you're primarily going after homeless straight people. Now, as far as the shootings go, I'm trying to think of a situation where, shit, that ain't working good. See if I can do it this way. Nope, I don't have the lung strength or lung capacity. No, don't get me wrong, I'm not any more angry with Wraith than I am with the Scudders. I am angry with the Scudders. And for good reason. And it's not for things that other people did. It's for things that they did. Now, I like the Scudders. I'm not going to go trying to pretend like they're evil people, because they're not. Now, it's either complacency or laziness, because obviously they were gonna. Now, is it my fault that for all these months they haven't kept the words about what they're gonna? They were there for the situation, but for months and months and months, right? No, it's just been a little over a month. It's only been over a month since this shit started with the Scudders. Now, they're all nice to me. But like I said, there's a difference between being nice and being good. Wraith is nice to me. Sometimes. No, that's not going to work. Let me see. If I do it like this. That's good, obviously. Now, I can accept cowardice. That I can accept. Now, I did try to play real American. You know, if you want to go to Canada, go to Canada. Go. Good riddance. Good to be rid of you. Glad you're out of my country. If you want to be a Canadian, it's not your country anymore. You don't make any attempts to make the world a better place, the community with which you just live in. But you want to move to a foreign country and hope that they'll accept your cowardice. No. So he says he's been accepted to Canada. Him and Chris have been accepted to Canada under refugee status. Aw. Canada giving Americans refugee status? That's kind of a strange thing to think about, but yeah. So, he's telling me about how bad his problems are. They got a house, right? So they're trying to sell the house in Lyons. So he's telling me about how tough his life is, and they got a house to sell. They have a house. He's telling me he's getting ready to go homeless. You've got a house that you're trying to sell. Selling your house, yeah, that's not the same as being homeless, Wraith, and you fucking know it. That's choosing homelessness, Wraith. That's different. You're doing the things that people accuse all of us actual homeless people of doing. You're doing it. Then, of course, we got a lot of people who are now retaliating against the LGBT community. And we got a lot of people who are retaliating against BLM. And why are they doing that? Well, because they're being victimized by individuals within these groups. And, of course, we're being told by other individuals that we deserve it. We deserve it because we didn't do anything. We didn't stick up for their rights. So they have the right to do these horrible things to us. No, 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 no. First of all, not all white people are out harming black folks. And not all straight people are out harming homosexuals. And many of us who are straight are victimized as if we are homosexuals because people think it's an okay thing to be mean about. But here's the thing. Being gay, that's one of those things that all of us have to deal with. Every one of us has to deal with being bullied for being gay, no matter how straight we are, because of hatred towards the homosexual community, specifically from the Christian community. There's a lot of Christians in Canada, bud. A lot of my predators live in Canada. Many of the people who are getting a hold of me from foreign countries to threaten and harass and intimidate me over the situation with Natalie, which, by the way, in all these years, you've shown zero fucking interest in. You just talk about you. That's not help, and it's not friendly. Well, I popped that balloon, didn't I? But it's still inflated, and I can still tie it in a knot. Now, we've got these shootings that are going on at the LGBT nightclubs. You know, I understand why. Completely. We do not owe it to you to bow down to your every will and command just because you suck a dick. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. Cocksucking doesn't mean that you deserve special privileges. Riding a dick doesn't mean that you deserve special privileges. You want people to fight for your rights while you shit on them for doing so. While you tell them to go to the back of the bus because their problems don't matter because you suck dick. Their problems don't matter because you're black. You're selling a narrative. And that narrative is what fucking matters. You don't care about the truth. See, that's the problem with BLM. They think by selling a racist narrative that, yeah, they're magically going to get everything that they fucking want handed to them on a fucking silver platter. Oh, it's white people, white people, white people. White people did this to us. Bitch, you was selling crack in Compton. White people didn't make you do that. You made the decision to do that. Just so you know, there's white folks selling crack in Compton too. You're going to say they were forced to sell crack, but you weren't? They don't have to sell crack because they're white and they get their fucking white privilege check? What, you think heterosexuals get a goddamn check? Oh, you're a heterosexual? Here's a free fucking check. Here's free money for not sucking dick, dude. No, it's selfishness. Your selfishness and your willingness to look away when it's happening to others. But then you won't shut the fuck about yourself. You won't shut up. You won't shut up. You only care about one person, and that person is you. When you teach homosexuals that everything bad that happens to them is because they suck dick, first of all, you're lying to them, and second of all, you're setting them up for fucking the whole country up. I'm not going to pretend that people aren't victimized for being homosexuals any more than I'm going to pretend that people are not victimized for being straight. Let me tell you something. You look away from everybody else's rights and what they're going through and pretend like you have it worse than everybody else. And then everybody else is a bad guy for ignoring you and your fucking problems. But you're ignoring theirs, Wraith. You are a fucking pampered little dweezil and always have been. My issues with you don't have anything to do with your homosexuality, with the exception of the fact that you think that because you're a homosexual, you are entitled to special treatment, and you are not. Whether you are gay or straight, you are a human being. And why don't we focus on that instead of you pretending that certain people aren't people because they're not gay? Why don't you think about that, Wraith? Why don't you stop for a moment? Why don't you take a look at what other people are going through? But no, it doesn't matter to you because you've got a special narrative sold in your fucking head. You have sold yourself this idea that is fucking bullshit. And the entire time that I've known Wraith, he has made fun of breeders, made fun of people who are straight, and of course, gone out of his way to treat us like shit because we're straight. Now, many of us have taken a lot of our time to help Wraith out because we felt bad for him. Because it's always, oh, poor me, poor me, poor me, I'm gay. But he's not being victimized for being gay. And I'm sick and tired of the gay community. Gay means happy, just so you know. Do we have a happy community? No, we don't. You can't expect anybody in a special interest group to care about anybody else but themselves. If they cared about other people, they wouldn't have a special interest group. You want somebody with BLM to give a fuck about your rights? Dude, it's BLM. If a police officer rapes you and rapes a black person, they're going to pretend you don't exist, or that you're only bringing it up because you're trying to take away from the black man. You're only telling on your predator because you're trying to discredit the black man. The abuse that you're going through, you got to go to the back of the bus according to BLM because you're not the right color. And the LGBT community is exactly the same on that. Now, we have individuals within the LGBT community who believe that we are human beings, or at least state that we are, but we also have to take a look at the individual situations and the individuals within. I just made a balloon inside of a balloon. Very cool. Now, we've got a lot of people who like to get on here and troll. See, here's the thing about Wraith. 6 years of him whining about his problems. You know what? He looked away from everybody else's. He looked away from everybody else's. Yeah, you do need to leave the country. Oh, we got another one of these assholes here. He wants to, calls himself unknown nomad, types reported, Sean in the shed. I thought you were gay. Gay, why are you playing with a condom? Now, you know what we do with these assholes? We take a screenshot, right? Now, Wraith is probably the most pampered person. Well, actually, he's not. He's extremely pampered. His disabilities, well, there aren't a lot of them, but his disabilities are severe. His cowardice is pretty severe, too. All right, I'd use her on this channel. And you see how easy that is to get rid of people? Now, we got shooting in Colorado, and lots of people are going to be up in arms because it's a gay nightclub. Well, you know what? Right now, I'm just glad that Wraith wasn't there. I do love Wraith, and I do love Chris, and I do want them out of the country. I do want them to go somewhere where they can feel safe. I also know that, well, I'm pretty sure that the stuff that he was typing at me was bullshit. I don't think that this refugee status thing with Canada is real, but that doesn't mean that it's not. Maybe he did apply for it. Maybe he did get accepted. But here's the thing. If you can apply for refugee status from the United States while owning a house, you're not a refugee. All homeless people in the United States are refugees. Every one of us. We're homeless. Most of us are fleeing abuse. That makes us refugees. With Wraith wanting to type about how horrible this United States is, and he's absolutely right. This place is rotten. It's run by people with the same mentality as the Nazis. Last night I spoke with CG about that. He and I had a several-hour conversation. He actually listened to the entire thing yesterday while I was at the hospital. I am not going to pretend for one moment that somebody going into a nightclub and shooting up a whole bunch of homosexuals, I'm not going to pretend for one moment that that's okay. I'm not going to pretend for one moment that that is acceptable behavior. I'm also not going to pretend for one moment that the LGBT community hasn't been victimizing the shit out of us, selling a false narrative and going, oh, poor me, they just won't listen because I suck dick. No, you're being fucking selfish. Ariana has to deal with the bullshit she deals with, not because she's gay, but because she's a selfish alcoholic. Only cares about herself. With Wraith, there's lots of people that would have helped him out, but here's the problem with Wraith. He's selfish. It's all about Wraith. Nobody else fucking matters. And that's the thing, is that I do care about these people, but they don't care about me. It's a one-way friendship. Wraith is one of those people that in the entirety of all of this, not once, ever bothered to contact me and talk to me unprompted. Matter of fact, he hasn't bothered to talk to me at all. 6 years, not one conversation. Yeah, that is cowardice. Stand behind your words. Stand behind them. The LGBT community needs to be on their own at this point. If the LGBT community thinks that they need to sponge off of everybody else in the country, you guys aren't liking where this is going. Hold on a second, Sean. Wait a minute. Well, that ain't okay. Well, hold on a second. It seems to be okay when it happens to homeless people. It seems to be okay when it happens to white people. You want to keep changing the rules. Poor you, you're gay. Poor you, you're gay. Oh, feel bad for me, I'm a homosexual. Yeah, the biggest issue that most homosexuals have is finding another homosexual that is interested in them. That's according to Wraith. Now, Kelly, he's gay too. His opinion on homosexuality is that whether or not a man is gay is dependent upon how much meth he uses. Is it okay to be gay? Absolutely. Is it okay for the LGBT community to victimize straight people? No, it's not. And I get to hear from a lot of homosexuals about the victimization of the Christian community. They do that to everybody. Everyone. They don't just hate you. They hate everyone. Christians hate other Christians, dude. Christians will literally murder and have been murdering other Christians over whose Jesus is the real fucking Jesus. Praise God, right? Now we got shootings coming from hate mongers. I'm not gonna fucking stick up for you this time. I'm not. I stand up for what's right, and at this point, turning a blind eye is what's right. Looking away from the LGBT community and allowing them to take the consequences for their hatred, for their abuse, If it's wrong to victimize homosexuals, then it is just as equally wrong for homosexuals to victimize us. Ariana wanted to go out on Pearl Street, drunk as a skunk, and fucking treat a bunch of people like shit, and then play like she was victimized because she's LGBT. No, you weren't victimized, you were victimizing people, and people got fed up with your shit. Just like DJ Wow. The only people who talk to DJ Wow now are the ones who are full-on fucking addicts. The rest of us fucking know better. I'm not against DJ Wow sucking cock. That's fine. If you're attracted to males and there's a male who is interested in letting you do that and you want to do that, that's on you. It's got nothing to do with me. When you shove it in my face, that's a different story. You're victimized because you're a fucking asshole. That's karma. We got people going after the LGBT community now. That's fair. That's equal. With LGBT supporting this crap, you know what? There may be individuals within the LGBT community who are against this, but they're not speaking out. No, we get the hate mongers. The ones who want to shove everything in our fucking face and fucking go nonstop about their homosexuality. Well, fine, you're okay to be gay. It's okay for you to be fucking gay. But I'm not going to listen to a straight man talking about his wife for fucking 8 hours straight. I'm not going to fucking do it. Are you telling me these things because you're a bitch who's not going to do anything except bitch? Or are you telling me these things because you want my help? Because it seems to me these people don't want my help. Oh, Sean said these people. Oh, dear God. The thing is that the majority of the LGBT community is that way. And that comes from my experience, my extensive experience with having a lot of friends who are homosexuals for alternate lifestyle. If you're going to look away from what's happening to others and you're going to complain about yourself nonstop, you're not a friend, you're a selfish piece of shit. Being gay isn't what did this. Them being gay isn't what did this. It's when we went fucking overboard and stepped over the line. When we went, all right, well, now we're going to let homosexuals get away with committing crimes and pretend that they were victimized because they sucked dick. A random stranger beats you up because you're a piece of shit. He doesn't even know you're a cocksucker. He didn't beat you up for sucking cock. He beat you up for being a fucking dickhead. Ariana got beaten up on multiple occasions on Pearl Street. Every time for the same thing. For getting fucked up and starting fucking fights. When you're drunk as a fucking skunk or strung out on methamphetamines, and you want to go picking on the biggest dude on the block because you're fucked up and not thinking straight, and then you want to say he beat me up because I'm gay. No, that don't work. Ariana, one day, Ariana's fucking freaking out, trying to fucking, I didn't get what I wanted, I didn't get what I wanted, I didn't get what I wanted. Fuck, didn't matter. Most of the people there weren't listening because it was something fucking trivial and selfish. I don't even remember what the fuck it was. But Ariana decided she was going to, and mind you, Ariana is LGBT, born a male, still has the male parts. but sometimes identifies as a male, sometimes identifies as a female, sometimes gets insulted if you say the wrong one, and sometimes says, oh, it doesn't matter. Well, how am I supposed to be consistent when you're not consistent? When you keep changing your mind? So Ariana goes up to this dude, way bigger than her, and starts a fight. What did the guy do? Wrapped her up into a pretzel. Didn't hit her, didn't kick her, didn't spit on her, didn't yell any anti-LGBT slogans. No, that guy just spun Ariana around and fucking pinned her arms behind her back and said, are you done? Are you done? Are you done? While Ariana's screaming, you motherfuckers, you're just watching him hate crime! You're watching him hate crime! You're out of your fucking mind. Tory Wentworth Ward is going through what he's going through for the same reason that the LGBT community is going through what they're going through. The LGBT community only cares about the LGBT community. BLM only cares about BLM. They don't care about black lives. If they cared about black lives, they'd be sticking up for black people on the fucking streets. They'd be fighting against the fucking problem instead of selling a racist narrative. We know there's racism. We're aware that there's racism. You want to pretend that everybody in America is looking away from racism and pretending it doesn't exist. No, 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 no. We're well aware it exists. There are many people in this country, such as myself, who have been victimized repeatedly for the color of our skin. Told that we need to go to the back of the bus because we're not the right color. We're taking away from the black people's cause because we're speaking up about our own abuse at the hands of the same predators, in many cases the same exact predators by name. Now, instead of working together with the other victims to get the predators off the streets, we got the same issue with BLM as we have with LGBT. You guys need to focus on me. Me. None of the rest of you exist. We don't care if you were victimized because you're not LGBT. You're straight, and straight deserve it, right? We're BLM. Well, you white people deserve this. White people did this. White people did this. 600 white women become the front line for BLM, and you still want to blame white people. People like me who have been standing up for your rights despite the fact that you tell me to go to the back of the bus, despite the fact that I go through worse shit than all of you. I get told it can't be happening because I'm white, or I must deserve it because I'm white. They only target black people. They only target the gays. You're out of your fucking mind. You want to fucking treat people like shit for being straight, then you want them to stick up for your rights as a homosexual? What the fuck is wrong with you? Don't ask a homosexual for help. Don't ask a black person for help. Just don't do it. The chances of you getting victimized, berated, chastised, and treated like shit for doing so are too great. If you're going through a severe amount of fucking hell and you need help stopping that hell, you need to find a group or community that is going to try to understand. You can't go to BLM if you've got two people who are raped to death by police officers. Well, let's just say raped by police officers. Now you say cops can't do that. Yes, they can. Who's going to fucking stop them? Yes, they can rape people. They do rape people. The question is, are you going to do anything about it other than look the other way and make excuses? Fuck. Go to Canada. Go to Canada. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want Wraith going to Canada because of some evil bullshit about how I don't want homosexuals in my country. Not sure if you noticed, but I'm not exactly American. I don't follow the American rhetoric or the American propaganda. I don't like Biden. I don't like Trump. I don't like Obama. I don't like Bush. I only partially liked Bill Clinton. And I sure as shit didn't like his wife. The LGBT community and many of the individuals within, matter of fact, most of the LGBT community that I know, won't stand up for anybody. Fuck this country. I understand wholeheartedly why Wraith wants to leave. What I don't understand is why he's such a selfish piece of shit. Is it homosexuality that made him a selfish piece of shit? No, it's not. But when you sell people the rhetoric that everything that happens to them is because of their skin color or because of their sexual preference, you are setting them up for fucking failure. And you are setting them up to sell a narrative that is going to get other people killed and has. Wraith, just like many other people, could have stopped being a selfish piece of shit, come forward and told the fucking truth. He's not going to do that because I'm not gay. His problems are worse than mine because he sucks dick. Well, he's got people there with him. He and Chris are together. They are coupled up. They have a house in Colorado. Wraith deserves it. He wanted to look away when it happened to other people. Well, that's karma. Every time I talk to Wraith, or type at Wraith, because he doesn't talk to me, I'm not a human being apparently. Every time I type with him, it's always his problems, his problems, his problems. Now, I could help him with his problems if I was there. But then again, I can't be there because when I needed someone to fucking come forward and speak up and actually give a shit, he didn't. Yes, he's a witness to multiple situations of this abuse and that it is ongoing. Wraith himself is a victim of much of this abuse. But unlike me, he's got people there. Unlike me, he has a roof over his head. Unlike me, he has power outlets. Unlike me, he has the ability. Now, Wraith wanted to complain that he didn't have enough money. Shit, I offered to pay him money to help me with my computer stuff. Obviously, he didn't want the money. He just wanted to bitch. And that's the thing that I see with much of the LGBT community. They want to shame you into doing something for them. Because you're a bad person. Because you're not a homosexual, apparently. And getting that rhetoric sold at me. Told I'm looking the other way because I'm straight. That because I'm white, I am choosing for black people to be victimized. No, I'm not. I've been speaking up for years. But I also see very plainly and clearly that BLM is selling a racist narrative that is making other victims have to take way more abuse. It doesn't fit your rhetoric. It doesn't fit your rhetoric. Now, with that shooting in Colorado, I'm not going to go saying that a school full of kids deserves to get shot up. And I'm not going to say that a nightclub full of homosexuals deserves to get shot up. What I'm saying is that it's being revisited. Is the LGBT community fighting for the victims who are, well, human? If you want to separate your group based on color, you're not a human. You're not. If you want to say, all right, well, we need to focus on black people. No, we don't. If you're going to say black people, you need to decide, are you people or are you black? Do you want special rights or equal rights? Are you a person or are you a black? Are you a human being or are you a homosexual? You identify however the fuck you want. But don't victimize me over it. And don't play like I never did a goddamn thing for you just because I don't suck dick. Don't pretend that I never stuck up for your rights just because I don't have darker skin. Of course, if you want to, you can pretend you're not cowards, I suppose. Now, obviously, is this targeted towards the entire LGBT community? Nope. How about the entire black community? No, this got nothing to do with the black community. Although we're about to make it part of the black community. When you train your kids that everything bad that happens to them is because of the color of their skin, and it must be racially motivated, and then your kid is out there selling crack, and saying, oh, it's a race crime. He targeted me because I'm black. No, he targeted you because you're selling crack. Also, when it comes to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., you know, we like to talk about all the effective change that he made. He didn't make any. The Black Panther Party and Malcolm X and his followers, those are the ones who created effective change, and they did it with firearms because tyrants aren't going to stop just because you asked them to. Natalie and her predators didn't stop just because I asked them to. But nobody gave a fuck. No matter how much I tried to turn it in, I was blown off. And then, of course, the police want to do everything they can to cut me off from the resources needed to turn them in. But then again, they're allowed for the same reason as the LGBT community and the same reason as the BLM community. Between actually looking it up for yourself and finding out, you are to be part of a hate group. If you are a police officer, you are a group. Being gay does not make you part of a hate group. However, LGBT, we got to flush that down the toilet. That takes away the humanity of the victims. It takes away the voice of the victims. When you sell a narrative that we need to focus on blacks and ignore all crimes against whites, or we need to focus on LGBT and we need to ignore the crimes against straight people, are you out of your fucking mind? I stand up for your rights and stick up for your rights and fight for your rights. And you're going to go out of your way to deny me mine and to make excuses to deny me mine? No. The black community at large, you know what? It's fine to be black. It's not fine to be part of a racist hate group like BLM. It's not fine to be part of a racist hate group like the KKK. Jesus. Come on, get in the fucking Here, there you go. This hatred needs to stop. This blaming other victims. You want to blame all straight people for your problems. It's straight people's fault. No, it's not. If there's a straight man who assaulted you, he's got a fucking name. So you go after that person in specific. Don't go after white people, you fucking fud. Now, when we talk about hate groups, you guys want to talk about the KKK, but you don't identify the BLM as a racist hate group. Meanwhile, their rhetoric is worse. And then, of course, we've got these Me Too movement that wants to ignore any male victims, tell male victims they need to go to the back of the bus, back of the bus, back of the bus. It's always to the back of the goddamn bus, isn't it? BLM thinks everybody else should go to the back of the bus and we should focus exclusively on their special privileges. And it is special privileges. On the bright side, we have, in the last year, had several black people charged with hate crimes. Thank fucking goodness it's about goddamn time. It's not okay for groups of black kids to go pick a fucking white kid to beat up on because they didn't get what they fucking wanted. Oh, we should be allowed to because people did it to us for years. Really? Really? How many times you been beaten up for the color of your skin, bitch? I bet you I got you beat. I bet you I've been assaulted a lot more for the color of my skin than any of you black folks. Find one black person who's been assaulted over 400 times for the color of their skin. That's what it's like growing up in the fucking system as a scrawny white boy, you fucking idiots. You fucking racist goddamn cowards. Oh yeah, and Merry goddamn Christmas. Wraith, I love you. I don't hate you for being a coward. I already knew you were a coward. I already knew you were selfish. But I love you anyway. I love Chris too, and I wish the best for you. I hope you make it to Canada. And I hope you never come back. I hope you stay there. I hope when you get there, nobody ever fucks with you again. I hope when you get there, with the money from selling your house, that it's enough for you to have a fresh start there. Something I will never have. Because unlike you, I don't have anybody that actually gives a shit about me. Unlike you, I'm also not a selfish piece of shit. There are lots of people that I love, even knowing that they're gay, because I don't care if you're gay. I care if you victimize others because you're gay. I care if you sell a false narrative because you're gay. Most of the homosexuals that have been beaten up in my presence were not beaten up for being homosexuals. They were beaten up for being fucking antagonistic goddamn assholes. For being selfish and talking down to others. You sure the fuck don't like it when you get it back. Nobody does. Anyway. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind.